In three, two, one. Yo, everyone, you're listening to Filmmaker Mike and the boys. But for this bonus episode, it's just me, Filmmaker Mike. So, yeah, unfortunately, this past weekend, so much was going on, and we didn't get to record a regular show. But I figured I would do a bonus episode, and this will be my spoiler-free movie review for Black Widow. Yes, the long-awaited Marvel solo film from one of the original Avengers is finally been released, not just in theaters, but also on Disney Plus with premiere access. So the film dropped this past weekend, and I really wanted to see it in the theater. I was really excited to see it, and I checked it out. I watched it, and I enjoyed it. Though did have a feeling that I would like it, I still didn't know what to expect. So I got to be honest with you. But I was pleasantly surprised. Not at the things that I thought I would be surprised at, but I genuinely had a great time at the movies, and I really enjoyed it. So before I get into it, let me just read the official description on the Cinemark app. In Marvel Studios' action-packed spy thriller Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. Or should I say, an Avenger. So that's kind of how Red Guardian says of an Avenger. So yeah, the cast, of course, includes Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, Ray Winstone, O.T. Fagbenli, if I'm hoping I pronounced that right, and then Olga Kurylenko and other castmates as well. But those are the main principal actors. So yes, it has a runtime of 2 hours and 13 minutes. And speaking of that runtime, the 2 hours and 13 minutes, it flies by, and the pacing of the film I thought was really well done. And again, I'm going to do it as spoiler free as possible. But you had moments of action. You had action. You had great action. But there was also moments where you could just rest and breathe and just take it easy for a bit, and then action again. It never felt, for me personally, it never felt like it was, oh my God, action, 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 action. And then, there was just, it had a good amount of pacing as far as the story goes. Now, let me start off with the things that I really liked, or should I say I really loved. And that the first thing that I really loved about this film is not just Black Widow herself. We all know Scarlett Johansson is great as Black Widow. She's been playing this character since Iron Man 2. So that was like 2010. So my goodness, 11 years now. But the one thing that I really loved about this film is not Black Widow, but her sister, Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh. She absolutely stole every scene that she was in. She was very charismatic and just downright likable and just awesome, funny, and she just had the way she approached the character was just so well done that it was a very different contrast from Natasha Romanoff. And the other thing that I really loved is, aside from Florence Pugh, the family aspect, the chemistry between the actors and the characters. David Harbour as Alexei Shostakov, aka the Red Guardian, who plays their father, and Rachel Weisz, Melina Vostokov, who plays their mother. Just fantastic casting and chemistry between the actors. It's not even the action scenes. The action scenes are cool and they're fun. I had a lot of fun watching, the action scenes and all that stuff. But what really stood out for me in this film are the scenes when there's no action at all, and there's just pure interaction with the characters and dialogue between these characters and how they're relating to each other, how they're talking, and how they're interacting with each other without any big set pieces or big action. That's what I really loved. That's what I really liked. And when I look back in those scenes in the movie, it's those scenes that I enjoy, and I gotta admit, I've seen it twice now. So I saw it Saturday night, and then my wife was really busy. So, and pretty much a lot of friends and family were like busy, and so I was like, fine, I will go to the movies by myself. It's been a while since I last saw a movie by myself. I think the last time I saw a film by myself was probably, I want to say, the last Jedi. I saw that twice only in the theater. It may have been The Force Awakens. Yeah, The Force Awakens. I think I saw The Force Awakens 3 times, and the third time I saw it by myself, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, hey, and there's nothing wrong with we can watch a movie by ourselves at home. So why not watch a movie by ourselves at the theater? Treat yourself, as they say, and enjoy, just hanging out with yourself. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that, right? So yeah, I've seen it twice. So the second, I was really excited to see it again a second time Sunday night at the movie theater with my wife. But then she was just like, "No, let's just stay in and let's just order it." So we got it on Disney Plus. So Disney, of course, made money at the box office from me, and then of course on Disney Plus, which was fine. The convenience factor of it is great because my wife was pretty tired, and we were just like hanging out. So we watched it at home, and I was excited. I was really excited to see it again. And I think I would still love to see this again in the theater. And personally, for me, when I want to see a movie again in the theater, that definitely tells me how much I really enjoyed seeing it in the theater and how much I really liked the film, maybe even love the film. So again, pleasantly surprised. The cast is fantastic. I love the scenes with David Harbour. And there's a dinner scene where, without spoiling anything, there's a dinner scene, and the characters are just interacting with each other, all four of them. And then later on, they split off. David Harbour has a scene with Florence Pugh, and Scarlett Johansson has a scene with Rachel Weisz. And David Harbour and Florence Pugh are just fantastic. It's great to see them all interacting with each other, and it's also great to see them interact with just pairs, like you guys go here, you guys go there. So really fantastic. That's what really made this movie for me. The family aspect, the characters, it's really well done. Not just well portrayed, but it's really well written as well. So that was really a pleasant surprise for me. Other things that I really liked was the soundtrack. I really liked Lorne Balfe, if I'm not mistaken. It's Lorne Balfe's score. There's some great moments at the beginning. And man, talk about the opening credits. This is probably the darkest, I'd say the darkest and kind of disturbing opening credits from a Marvel movie anyone has ever seen so far. It's pretty intense stuff when you think about it, when you see it, without spoiling that part. But I do like the questions that the film, I do like the fact that in this Marvel film, it brings up some questions and allows you to think for a bit and like realize like, hey, what if this is, really going on? And some of the themes are, in the film, some of it is really going on out in the world today. So it's definitely something to think about and ponder. But yeah, again, the 2 hours and 13 minutes, it flies by. I really think the film is well paced. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I was pleasantly surprised. I had a feeling that I would like it, but that could have gone either way. Now the things that I was kind of iffy about, or that I didn't like so much. the biggest thing is that I wish that this film was made and released way before Avengers Endgame. Because we already know, if you watch the Marvel movies, you pretty much know what's going to happen to Natasha Romanoff, to Black Widow, by the time Avengers Endgame happens. So this Black Widow film takes place a week or two right after Civil War. So this is before Infinity War. I really wish that we saw this. You know, we could have seen Infinity War and then we could have jumped back into Black Widow and then Endgame. I think it would have been way more powerful. Her sacrifice is still powerful in that film, but now with this in adding into the context, into the story of the character, would have made it even far more richer. And I really feel like, yeah, we mentioned on the podcast, this film was long overdue. This should have been released around Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which would have been perfect. Right after that, it would have been cool to see Black Widow on a solo adventure. I really feel that had they done this film much earlier in the MCU timeline, as far as making the film release and all that stuff, I really feel that they could have done a Black Widow trilogy. There could have been a Black Widow trilogy, and it feels like all the elements in this story was kind of just put together in there. Because the cast, again, the characters that are introduced here, her family is fantastic. It's a great addition to the rich, universe of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the cast of characters that it has. How I wish that we could. I really feel that they could have easily done a Black Widow trilogy way before Infinity War and Endgame, and it would have been fantastic. Whether or not, of course, yeah, you have Red Guardian, you have Yelena and Melina, and then in the second and the third film, you introduce other characters, or something happens, and then there's all these other characters, there's new characters that join, but other than that, don't get me wrong, what they did with this film, with what they had, is still well done. So I'm still very impressed by that. I just wish that I feel like we could have gotten way more from Black Widow. We could have gotten the trilogy, because the character has so much to play with, to work with, and you see that in this story. The character has years of and issues upon issues of comic book stories. So, and yes, in the comic books, the Red Guardian is supposed to be the husband of Black Widow. In this story, he plays the father figure. So, and that's fine. I'm not a huge fan of the Black Widow comics. I never really read a lot of Black Widow comics, but for certain adaptations, that makes sense. And here they did it really well. I thought that made sense. Now going into not spoiler territory, so I won't spoil it, but because I'm looking forward to discussing this with the boys once they've seen it, and hopefully y'all, when anyone who's watching or listening has also gotten a chance to see it, we can talk spoilers then, Black Widow spoilers, and really get into the meat of it. But as far as Taskmaster, so a lot of controversy was already surrounding the Taskmaster character. A lot of fans were already not happy and not pleased with what they did with the character. Supposedly they changed it, they changed the character and all that stuff. But what they did here, to me, actually makes sense to serve the story. It made sense. So without giving away too much, what they did here, to me personally, it helped serve the story. Because had they gone the comic book route, it would have been it wouldn't have made as much sense because there that the character would have had to be introduced, and you already have so much other characters introduced here, Natasha's family. So I feel like it wouldn't have gone. It could have gone either way, but the way they did it here, it made sense to serve the story. So that's all I'll say about that until we get into the spoiler Black Widow movie talk, movie review recap. But yeah, other than that, I did notice a few things. The biggest thing on the special effects when there's a chase sequence in Budapest, not Budapest, it's Budapest. So there's a chase sequence. They're being chased by like an armored tank vehicle. The way the tank moves, there's a quick shot. It's very quick, but when I saw it, and I've seen it twice now, the way it moves or the way it stops, it almost looks like that's not how an armored vehicle, a big ass heavy armored vehicle would move or stop or brake. That's just, but that's other than that, as far as the special effects and the CGI, that's the only thing I think that really caught my eye and just didn't sit right, didn't look right. But that's a minor thing. That is a minor thing, just for clarification. So, other than that, the film from start to end, from start to finish, fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic opening sequence has really got me. And it was great to see this on the big screen for the first time. I'm almost tempted to see it on IMAX because I know that, of course, the IMAX is like bigger picture and you get to see more. I'm sure it looks fantastic in IMAX as well. There really is something special about how Marvel Studios has done what Marvel Studios has done with these Marvel movies, because these movies are definitely worth seeing on the big screen. If you enjoy the stories, you're a fan of the characters, it's really cool and fun to enjoy these stories on the big screen. So, and of course, we're getting so much stuff on Disney Plus and all that stuff, which is also great. But there's something really special about going to a movie theater and seeing these like awesome adventures on the big screen. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. If you are a Marvel fan or you like Marvel in some capacity and you like the Avengers, you like these characters, I would highly recommend checking this out. If you're iffy about this film, but you just want to escape and have like a good action, check out a good action film and maybe have fun along the way, I would still recommend this. There's a lot of action, and I think there's a lot of heart in this film, and a lot of some good humor, some good bits of humor here and there, but a lot of heart. The story is written well, and so are the characters, and it's just, yeah, I feel like in a sense we kind of got robbed because we could have gotten a Black Widow trilogy. Iron Man got his trilogy, Captain America got his trilogy, Thor got his trilogy, and Thor's getting a fourth film. I think we really could have gotten a Black Widow trilogy, and it could have been something else. But unfortunately, this is all we got, and that's fine. This is still something special, I think. This is still well done, and it's definitely worth checking out. So, but don't take my word for it. Check it out. Watch it, whether you go to the movie theater and experience it on the big screen. I think that's the best way to experience it. And then if you want to see it again, or you can always rent it on or pay the premium access on Disney Plus and have it forever, as long as you have a Disney Plus account. But I think I'm going to be watching this film a few more times on Disney Plus, but I really am tempted to see it again on the big screen because I just enjoyed it so much. So that's pretty much it for my movie review. I'm giving it a high recommendation. Check it out. I give it a solid rating of, I give it an 8 out of 10. On a scale of 0 to 5, I give it a 4 out of 5. Check it out and see for yourself. But hey, that's just my opinion. But yes, thank you guys for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. And hopefully the next episode you listen to or check out will be our regular episode with Filmmaker Mike and the boys. So please check out, our social media, our Instagram, and you can also check out the YouTube channel. If you enjoy Star Wars action figure reviews or Star Wars collectibles, I've uploaded some Star Wars vintage collection action figure reviews there as well. And pretty soon I will also be reviewing Marvel Legends Black Widow action figures. I'm showing it here on the video for YouTube. There's Black Widow, and there's Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh, and here is an awesome 2-pack of the Red Guardian and Melina. Very, very cool. But yeah, I'm really excited that I got these action figures because I really enjoyed this movie. When I enjoy the movie and there's action figures, hey, I want it. But yeah, again, Florence Pugh, stand out in this film. I hope we don't have to wait, 11 years for Yelena Belova, for Florence Pugh to get her own film, perhaps her own series. I think her own series, if not her own solo film, it's all about the Disney Plus series now. So perhaps her own Disney Plus series. There is one post-credit scene, which I will not spoil, but if you are familiar, if you've been up to date on the Disney Plus series, MCU series shows, you will connect. You will see what the which Disney Plus MCU series it's connected to, and I think it's exciting. So there you go. Again, thank you for watching or listening. I really appreciate your time. Out of all the other podcasts out there, or you could be checking out. Thank you for joining me, and until then, feel free to leave a voice message and let me know. Let us know if you perhaps have seen Black Widow, or you're excited to see it. Let me know in the comments below on the YouTube channel, or leave us a voice message and let us know what you think of Black Widow if you've seen it, or let us know what you think of the show. We'd love to hear from our listeners, our subscribers, and we do appreciate your time and your support. So thank you, and until next time, stay safe out there, and see you all again soon. Bye.